And it is time for a story. So if you are young or young at heart, I have a little story for you. Please come down. I have a little prop for my story, so let me find that. Oh, goodness, let's see. Oop. Yes, here we go. All right. Hi, everybody. So I have a question for you. What's something you love to look forward to in the spring? Oh, that might be too much of an open-ended question. Let me ask it this way. How many people love in the spring when the flowers start to pop up? Yes, remember that time? Are you starting to see them now? Have you seen a few flowers? Not yet? Look outside. Yeah, a little bit. There's a few out there. Well, this is a story about a little girl named Zoe who loved in the spring when the flowers popped up. Now, Zoe lived in this nice little house, and outside her house, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but there was this big lawn. The lawn didn't have very many flowers, but on the other side, just at the crest of the hill, there was a beautiful big open space that had many wildflowers. And every spring, Zoe would wake up in the morning, and Zoe would look out her window, and she'd think, is today the day? Is today the day the wildflowers are going to pop up? How many of us feel that way in the middle of winter, right? Is today the day? When is the wildflowers going to pop up? And over, there weren't any, and there weren't any, and there weren't any. But one day, Zoe looked out, and sure enough, across the field, the flowers had popped up. And Zoe said to her mom and dad, oh, I want to go pick some flowers. Can we go pick the flowers? And they said, okay. So they got on their little boots and got on a little jacket, and they went across the field. And when Zoe got near the flowers, Zoe was like, oh, Mommy, look at that red one. I want the red one. It's so amazing. So Zoe went running right up to the flower because she was going to pick it, and the flower bent over, just like that. And Zoe's mom said, that's not a very good flower to pick. Why don't you pick some of the other ones? And Zoe got sad and was like, okay. So she picked some of the other ones, but she kept looking back at the little red flower because she really wanted to pick that one. But they went home, and Zoe did other things. And the next day, Zoe got up and looked out her window, and she said, Mommy, look, the red flower, I think it's back up. Zoe's mom was like, I don't think you can see that from here, but okay, we will go and we will pick the flower. So guess what happened? They go running over, and Zoe gets close to where the wildflowers are, and she goes, and she's like, I'm gonna pick that wildflower, and she runs up to it really fast. And down the flower goes. How'd that happen?
Magic?
Yeah. Good answer. When in doubt, it is always the answer, please note. Zoe got sad again, and her mom's like, we can pick some of the other flowers. And Zoe's like, yeah, but I wanted the red one. I need that red flower. Do you know how it is sometimes when you don't get what you want, how it makes you want it even more? This was happening to Zoe. She's like, but I want that flower. So her mom convinced her to go home, so they went home. Yes?
I know why the red flower keeps on going.
Shh, let's keep it a secret. At the end, I'll let you say it, okay? But for right now, we're going to keep it a secret. All right. So the next day, what do you think happens?
The same thing.
Yeah, Zoe didn't even barely tell her mom. She just got up in the morning, she put on her shoes, and she went running. She thought, you know what? I'm going to sneak up on it this time. So she went to the back side of the field, and she's sneaking up, and she goes to grab the flower. What happens? Go ahead and try to grab it.
It went over.
Oops, sorry. Yes. I let you see some of the magic. The flower bent over again. Zoe went home crying. Guess what happened in the middle of the night? The flower pops up. Well, the next day, her mom says, listen, Zoe, I have an idea. Let's pack a picnic lunch. And let's just go out. And instead of trying to grab one of the flowers, let's just look at them for a while. So Zoe and her papa and her mama, they pack a picnic lunch, and they go out, and they spread out a blanket, and they sit down about 20 feet from the flowers. And Zoe looks over, and sure enough, that little red flower is there. And her mama says, don't even look at it. Just look over here. So she did. She said, every once in a while, you can glance at the flower. And so she did. And her mom said, now take a look at the flowers. What do you notice? And Zoe said, well, there's a lot of colors. Her mom said, yeah, what else do you notice? What do you think you notice when you look at a whole bunch of flowers? She said, there's a lot of different shapes. Yeah. A lot of different sizes. Yeah. They kind of all look really nice all there together, don't they, Zoe? And Zoe said, yeah, they kind of do. And at that moment, she felt like the little flower started to nod its head. And Zoe's like, Mommy, that flower just nodded its head at me. Maybe it agrees. So Zoe said, I'd like to get a little closer. And Mama said, okay, go a little closer, just a little bit. And so Zoe did. So I walked a little closer. The flower bent down just a little bit. And Zoe looked at the flower, and the flower looked at Zoe. And so I said, you are beautiful. And the flower nodded. And Zoe said, I'm not going to pick you. And the flower nodded. And so Zoe sat, and the flower sat, and they had a very nice day just looking at each other. And Zoe and her mommy and her daddy and her papa all went home with their picnic basket and had a very good day. What do you think?